episode of Anxiety Is Not Me. My wish for you is that during your time in this sacred space, you will be guided to meet your innermost self for the very first time. May she awaken, evolve, and rise to new depths of unpaved territory, accepting herself wholly. I am your host, Madison Schrader, and I suffer from emetophobia and anxiety. Before we go any further, I want you to picture yourself enveloped in a strong, beaming light. It radiates from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. No holes, just one continuous loop. This bubble of protection will ensure that you listen to my experiences but won't empathically take on what I feel personally. As you listen to this episode, some of you will hear your own voice, and I want to acknowledge you for that. You will be taken to a time when you have had particular conversations with me. Maybe you were my teacher, my support, my wake-up call. Some of you who don't know me personally will resonate. Some of you will gain understanding of others in your own lives. I'm dedicating this episode anonymously. My heart, my healing, and my growth have been touched in a range of ways by so many different people, and I truly hope that I have made you personally aware of how much you mean to me. 7 years ago, I embarked on a journey of motherhood, a journey that would forever alter my existence in the best possible way, unlocking parts of me that I hadn't even met yet. I devoted my whole being to being a mother, but along the way, lost my individual identity. I had become just an add-on to someone else's belonging. A wife, a mother, going through the mundane motions of daily life. But who was I really anymore? The gift of being a mother is incomparable. It is the greatest honor I will ever have the privilege of receiving. But I got to thinking one night after putting my kids to bed, this is morbid, I know, but I was thinking, when I'm gone, will my kids be proud of me? What will they say about me? That I made the best toast? God, I hope they would come up with something better than that. It was always my intention to be a young mother. To me, that was the biggest dream. And occupational success and travel could simmer on the back burner until my kids were old enough for those aspects of my life to come back into play. And here I am with my kids already showing so much independence that my time started freeing up quicker than I had anticipated. Enough so that even with my babies as my top priorities, I still had time remaining of a day. Time to sit, time to reflect, time to wish, time to fulfill. At the age of 26, the anxiety that I had always suffered spiked to a drastically higher level than I had ever experienced before. I felt alone and like everything was pointless. I was confused and feeling guilty because I had everything I had prayed for. So why did I feel empty? I started having purge symptoms. I was feeling lost and stuck. I began remembering and dreaming about memories of my past. Have you ever noticed that certain people, certain personality traits seem to walk into your life and make their presence so greatly known just when you needed them to? Well, that's because your energy attracts. I have had everything from empathic personalities bringing with them calm to my chaos to cyclone personalities bringing with them every question I had been too afraid to ask myself. Breaking down the doors, standing in the way of my truth. I was drastically reevaluating my concept of success. I began to recognize and feel what true suffering is. My sleeping habits were all over the place, as was my ability to eat certain foods. So consumed by emotion that functioning required actual effort. I began to seek validation from people less and wanted to enrich my life with passionate connections more. This was the breakthrough moment. When I started to accept myself rather than resist or be embarrassed and hide myself. I sought out holistic and spiritual guidance for healing and learnt two things. I have brought this phobia with me from past lives, in two of which I passed away from getting so sick. Multiple times I have been sent to Earth with the same lessons. Who wants to keep doing the same thing over and over again? Not me. So this is the lifetime I'm conquering this demon, laying it to rest so I can come back again with a brand new lesson to learn. Second thing I learned was that I was at the beginning of my very first spiritual awakening. I began to resonate with Eastern philosophies and spirituality. My inner child resurfaced. I was starting to understand social conditioning and the ability to become subtly addicted to our problems. Everything I knew to be true was no longer. Removed was everyone and everything that no longer served me, and thrown into questioning the programming that I was conditioned to. It was my excruciating, amazing rebirth to my higher purpose. The evolutionary phase that I was moving through was referred to me as the dark night of the soul, which basically is a spiritual depression hitting rock bottom before experiencing enlightenment. It's seeing the cloudiness that is hiding your true self and removing the veil to expose the true you. It was as though I was offered a contract asking whether I would make healing a commitment for the rest of my life, for not only myself, but extending it to others as well. I am a why learner. I need to know why. I crave knowing why. So to finally have a name for the feelings I had, it was like a big sigh of relief. Okay, I have an answer, and now I can take action to improve my state of mind and quality of life. At the forefront, still always striving to be the best mother I can be, but also to achieve the greatest potential for my soul. Spiritual awakening for me felt cruel, but now I see it was beautiful. It was growth allowing me to understand myself on a deeper level. I've never fit in, and this used to really bother me. If you ask me now, I'll put on a brave face. I'll tell you that I don't care. But to be completely honest, it still often saddens me and causes me quite a lot of pain, my lack of being understood by many people as a collective. But after this eye-opening, life-shattering rebirth, I can say that I accept that I'm quite an outcast. Because now I understand it's part of my human design for a reason, even if I don't like it. It's the way I have to be in order to do the work that I'm destined to do in this lifetime, and I will honor that with grace. I do have a select few people here that do get me, and that's really special. And my hope is that there's more of you out there that are hearing this saying, I get you. My human design archetype is a manifester. I am literally here to get things started for others to join. I'm here for you. Think about that for a second. That power. You are my sole purpose, and my strategy is to inform. I was becoming conscious of how my mind had been operating, and then it washed over me. A wave of empowerment. It all started making sense, and reasons were becoming clearer. I realized I could feel sorry for myself, and sometimes I did, or I could believe that this was a transformation meant for me with obstacles that my soul had chosen for my blueprint before I arrived on Earth. My challenges and my story are meant to be told to help others with theirs. So I began reading more, sharing, opening up, writing, showing me just being me to inspire others to be them. slowly realizing I wasn't alone, learning the tools to work with my condition rather than resisting it, that if I allowed it to, it could bring me levels of consciousness that I otherwise wouldn't have power over. I asked for guidance and wisdom from spirit. I reached out to my guides and learned to trust my intuition, which led me to write my second book, Anxiety Is Not Me. But afterwards, I felt such a strong pull for my voice to be used. Initially, I thought it was probably just because the way of the future tends to be convenience. As a society, we are time poor, and listening to a podcast is often easier than reading something. But I think there was a deeper meaning behind that urge. My throat chakra has been blocked, well, let's just say for a very long time. And I've always hated my voice. I thought nothing of that when I was younger. I think everyone cringes at their own voice, but I used to say I sounded like a chipmunk and I'd laugh it off, but realistically, I was quite hurtful towards myself and very negative with thoughts surrounding my voice. I've recently learned that in my astrological chart, my voice was silenced by a man in a past life. After learning that, I was informed during an energy healing of a man holding my throat. This is still a mystery area of my makeup that I haven't uncovered in entirety, but it's definitely connected to the need for my voice to be used in this lifetime, to shift energy, to break through barriers and unlock that chakra. I have always felt a deep connection to astrology and the spirit world. And it was at this time that I really felt the calling to dive deeper and make it the core way of my living. Sex and the City, the show, got me through most of my teen years. I dreamed of being a successful columnist just like Kerry, but I doubted myself. I didn't believe I could ever do a thing like that. But here I am with a podcast that I created, which is pretty parallel to a column, I reckon. So did I manifest this subconsciously 15 years ago? I like to think I did. The coincidences began piling up. I used to have a lot of coincidences happen to me. I'd wish upon a star enough times that it would happen. I'd say aloud things that would then come to fruition. Jokes have always been made that, oh, Maddie, can you say we're going to win Tats Lotto? Because it'll probably happen if you say it. No, I don't think that's exactly how it works. But I've definitely realized coincidences are a very human mentality and not the reason why I know things before they happen. That was when I discovered the extent of my healing capabilities. It all started with ringing in my ears. Went to the GP. Nothing physically wrong with me. Of course there wasn't. They were downloads coming through at such a rapid pace that I wasn't prepared for them. And I didn't really know what I was meant to do with them or even actually know what they were for quite some time. I didn't know then what I'm so proud to know now. And that is that I am clairsentient and claircognizant. I receive messages in 3 different ways. Sometimes I have a way of just knowing things. Other times it's through dreams. And lastly, through my physical vessel. I will feel somebody else's pain or physical symptoms that they need a nudge to become aware of within themselves. Always, though, muted. Everything is about touch, rather or instead of about sound. I believe this to mean 2 things. Number 1, coming back to my throat chakra being blocked, it's not allowing messages to be vocalized. And number 2, I fear touch as a whole in such a debilitating way that it's kind of like a safe exposure therapy to receive messages with touch being such a present force. I communicate with the angelic realm. My challenges are also my only way out. My Pisces moon needs movement, and dance is my every expression. In your time on earth, your spirit is embodied, taking on the human form to understand, feel, and experience all types of emotions and circumstances. Without allowing your shadow side to be free, you cannot reach your authentic truth to its highest potential. Through this season of Anxiety Is Not Me, you will hear from real people with genuine experiences, all with unique journeys using holistic methods and practices for their healing and their everyday living. I'm so excited for us to shed, grow, and evolve together, feeling strong, whole, and in love with our true selves. It fills me with so much gratitude to have the privilege of finding a positive perspective to my otherwise dark story, to share my gift and my experiences with and for the greater good, and to build this platform for your voice to be heard and for you to find comfort with others. It is a place for all of us to share and to feel inclusive. So if you would like to share your story, please reach out to me. Sending you energy of love and peace as you become more aware of your inner light with every breath.